Hey guys, today I am joining you from my mom's house. This weekend, I'm taking care of some of the unsexy parts of pausing, which for me means downsizing and moving some things. So, excuse the look, but I had to get this episode recorded for you. Welcome back to Design Pause, the podcast for high achieving professionals who are ready to stop performing a life that looks good on paper and start building one that actually feels good to live. I'm your host, Deidre Green, a former VP level leader in the beauty industry, a licensed esthetician, and someone who made the intentional decision to step away from corporate life to redesign what comes next. Design Pause is a space for honest conversations about career breaks, intentional living, identity, and what it really looks like to bet on yourself after years of betting on everyone else's vision. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been with me for a while, you already know we don't do surface level here. Today's episode is one I've been wanting to record for a while because it touches on something that doesn't get talked about enough in the sabbatical and career break conversation. We talk a lot about the financial planning, we talk about the identity shifts, we talk about the logistics of slowing down. But what about the people? What actually happens to your relationships when you leave corporate? That's what we're getting into today. And I'm going to be honest with you in a way that I hope feels like a conversation with a friend who has already walked the path that you're standing at the edge of. Let's get into it. I want to start by being upfront with you about something. In a previous episode, I shared that one of the things I genuinely miss about corporate are some of the relationships I built over the years. Not the surface level interactions, not the small talk in the elevator, or the pleasantries before a meeting. I'm talking about the ones where the mask came down, where real connection happened, where you saw someone and they saw you inside of a high pressure environment. That didn't always make space for the kind of authenticity that was shared between you. Those relationships were real. And I want you to know if you're in corporate right now and you have people like that, those connections matter. But here is what I also want you to know: your relationships will shift when you leave. And I say that not to scare you, but to prepare you, because if you go into your pause expecting everything to stay the same, you will feel blindsided by something that is actually completely natural. People come into our lives for reasons and for seasons, and that is not a cliche. It is just the truth of how human connection works. And when the shared environment that created a relationship changes the relationship itself, it will change too. That doesn't mean it wasn't real. It just means the chapter has evolved. So here's what I've learned. In today's world, there are endless distractions and obligations, all competing for our attention at the same time. And if you are not intentional about where you focus your energy, the world will choose for you. That applies to your career, it applies to how you spend your time, and it absolutely applies to your relationships. If there are connections you value, people you want to take with you into this next chapter of your life, you have to be intentional about it. That means reaching out. That means showing up. That means not assuming the relationship will maintain itself just because it once felt easy. And you have to extend that same grace to people. If someone reaches out to you, receive it. But here is the part that might sting a little, and I say it with love. You may discover that some of the connections you thought ran deep were actually anchored to the circumstance that you were in. You may find that once you're no longer in that same environment, the conversations don't expand beyond that shared context. The topics stay the same, the energy feels different. And that realization can be jarring. Give yourself permission to feel that, and then give yourself permission to release it without bitterness. Not every relationship is designed to travel with you, and that's okay. Now, I want to flip this because this is the part that genuinely excites me. On the other side of those shifting relationships are new people, new connections, new conversations that you could not have accessed from inside the identity you were living before. When you step into a design pause, you change. Your energy changes, your availability changes, your curiosity is going to expand, and that creates a completely different quality of person entering your orbit. Be open to them. Be genuinely curious about the new people who enter your life in this season. Not guarded, not skeptical, curious. Ask questions, listen, be interested in who they are and what they're building and what they've learned. I can tell you from personal experience, some of the most valuable relationships of my life have come from this season. People I would never have had the bandwidth to truly connect with when I was operating at 100 miles an hour inside of corporate. Now, use your discernment, that never goes away, right? But trust that the right people are arriving for a reason. Be open to the lessons they carry, be open to where those connections might lead. You will be pleasantly surprised, okay? Just stay open to it. The last thing I want to touch on, and honestly, the most personal, is family. Not everyone in your family is going to understand your pause. Some people will question it, some will worry, some will project their own fears and insecurity about and their own fears about stability onto your decision. And you have to be prepared for that without letting it derail you. But here is a reframe I want to offer you. Your pause is an opportunity to be an example. There may be someone in your family, a sibling, a cousin, a niece, or a nephew who is watching you and quietly thinking, I didn't know another way was possible. Your courage to pause might be the permission that someone else needed to consider a different life for themselves. And then there will be people in your family who support you completely, who show up, who celebrate the decision even when they don't fully understand. Keep those people close, invest in those relationships, let them in. For me personally, one of the most unexpected gifts of my design pause has been the time I've been able to reclaim with my family. The belly laughs, the catch ups that used to only happen over the holidays and now happen just because, the ordinary moments that turn out to be anything but ordinary. I'm recording this episode at my mom's house right now, waiting for my sisters to arrive, and I want you to sit with this for a second. That feeling, that simple, uncomplicated feeling of being present with the people I love the most. That feeling is better than any job title or corporate role I have ever held. And that is what a design pause can give you. If today's episode stirred something in you, if you found yourself thinking about a relationship that has shifted, or someone you've been meaning to reach out to, or the version of yourself that might emerge on the other side of a pause, I want you to do something with that feeling before it fades. I created a free set of journaling prompts specifically designed for corporate professionals who are in that quiet in between space, the place where you know something needs to change, but you haven't given yourself permission to fully explore what that looks like yet. These prompts will help you get honest with yourself in a way that a conversation with a colleague or a scroll through your phone never will be able to do. You can grab them for free. The link is in the show notes and in my bio. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a review, a comment, send me a DM, and tell me which part hit home for you. I read every single one. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I will see you in the next episode. This is your pause. Design it well.